Hi, I'm Todd, the music coach, and this is a bonus feature where I'm going to talk about some general tools that every instrumentalist should have with them. They're not very expensive, but they're going to make a huge difference to the quality of your practice and also if you're rehearsing with other musicians. The things I got in front of me are, I have two different music stands and a tuner and a metronome. So first let's talk about the music stands. There are two basic types. This one is a solid music stand. It does fold up. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're a lot more practical to use, especially if they're just going to live at your house. I'd recommend spending a little more money, getting something that's a little more durable, because the other option are these wire foldable stands, which are great for traveling with, but because they're not solid, things can fall through. The screws and everything on them are usually a little bit cheap, and it'll sometimes bend easily. So the difference in price, these wire ones are going to be sort of $20 to $30. These are going to be closer to $100. But in the long run, I recommend getting a good solid music stand if you're going to be in one location. A chromatic tuner, if you're playing an instrument where pitch is going to be an issue, which is almost every single instrument with the exception of the drum kit and the piano, you're going to need to know whether you're playing sharp or flat and how to make adjustments. And the only real way to do that is with a chromatic tuner. These will cost you around $30 and they have basic functionality. They take a AAA battery. One nice thing that's happened in the last few years is most app stores for smartphones have some kind of a free tuner. And even for like $1 or $2 you can buy a more advanced version. So if you don't feel like having a physical one, I have owned these for a long time, so I've got them. You can download something to your smartphone. And make sure to use it to be constantly checking in to see where you're at. Are you playing sharp or flat in certain registers? And a note for guitar players, you might think that a guitar tuner, which is something that's sold in stores, would be the right thing for a guitar or bass. And in fact, a guitar tuner isn't really useful at all because it's always checking to see what string you're on. It's trying to figure out, are you on the 6th string, on the 4th string? And what you actually want is to be able to know, is the string I'm playing the right note? The other reason this is important is if your guitar gets really out of tune, a guitar tuner won't really give you a relative sense of where you are. You'll have to get it close before it's even usable, so I don't even recommend ever even buying a guitar tuner. Metronomes track time. And this one looks like the same as the chromatic tuner, but it basically is set, you can set it to how many beats per minute, which a simple way to think of it is 60 beats per minute is like the second hand on a clock, because it's 60 clicks in a minute. And if you had 120 beats per minute, you'd have 2 clicks for every second. A good metronome will have a couple of important features. You want to make sure you get one that has the ability to plug headphones into it, especially if you're a drummer, because the speaker on this is never going to be loud enough for you to hear it while you're playing drums, or even, to be honest, playing most instruments. So you want something with a headphone adapter, and you also want to make sure that you have something where you can easily change the tempo. So they all have the ability to change the tempo, but some of them will go up in increments of 3 or 4. Just make sure it's something that you can adjust the tempo evenly. And last but not least, it's important to have one that you can clearly visually see as well, that it's easy to see the display. Because sometimes when you're playing, you're going to want to just check on visually where you're at in terms of the time. And much like the tuner, you can download these off of most app stores. There's almost always a free one. Sometimes they're not great, but for $1 or $2 you can upgrade and get a more advanced metronome, which will work great. And this is going to cost you about $30, so $1 or $2 on an app store to upgrade the free version is often what I recommend for my students.